Hello, 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 friends. Happy Friday, everybody. It is Friday, and I am so glad that I was able to get this time with you all. Yesterday was an amazing day. I'm sure that the majority of you were on the live yesterday at 10 Central, 11 Eastern, with Harrison and Pam as they toured the warehouse in Austin and did some amazing giveaways for the Furls Crochet birthday. So, woohoo! Happy birthday, Furls. I am so glad that I was introduced to this brand by my good friend Michelle. A few years ago, she gifted me a candy shop hook, and the love affair began from there. And I've had the pleasure of being a part of the Furls team since 2020, and I am so grateful. So, happy birthday, Furls. Happy birthday to Harrison for putting this amazing company together and allowing Lorene and Pam to run the show. I just love everything that the company is doing. And Chris, yes, he did say hello to you. I saw that. I was like, okay. I thought the live was so much fun. And I can't believe he cut off all his hair, but he's still cute as a button. That was so much fun yesterday. So hello, friends. Let me do a little bit of a roll call. Hello to everyone joining me here. Mish Crochet Nook was here first. Hello to you. Welcome to the party. Vivian, Sonata. I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Jen, Stephanie, Chris, Vicky, Darcy, Monique, Yolanda. Hey, girl. Stephanie, Ashley, Karen, Keith, A. Simone. I'm sorry, forgive me. Kim, Joy, who else is here? Maria, Francis, hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me on this Friday live for Crochet Foundry. We're going to be talking to one of the designers who is in the June issue. Her name is Joanne, and she has a beautiful Tunisian crochet pattern in the June issue of Crochet Foundry Magazine. So please help me welcome Joanne. She is in the UK. She is outside and she is enjoying life. Welcome. Come on in, Joe. Hello. There she is.
Sorry, my son's just come out. So pop back in the sitting room, darling. I knew he'd pop out just as soon as I got on air.
That's so funny. Mom, what are you doing outside?
Exactly.
Hi, Joanne. Thanks again for joining us on this Crochet Foundry live. I'm so glad that you are here. Introduce yourself to the audience. Let them know who you are, where you come from, and what you do.
So I'm Joanne Fowler. I live in London in the UK. My business is Made with Love and Fibres. I started crochet designing and knit designing as well. I do both. A couple of years ago when my youngest son started school, and I thought, well, shall I go back to what I was doing before, which was working in education, or shall I try something new? And I thought, well, I'll try something new. Chatted to my husband and started from there and started looking, well, how can I publish patterns? And the thing that I really liked the idea of doing was designing for magazines, yarn producers, and so on. I thought that would allow me to do more of the design and less of the business side of things, and I'm really enjoying that.
I love that. So you design both crochet and knit. What's
yes, that's right.
What's your favorite?
Well, I was a knitter first, and I don't like to say it, but I think I actually find crochet easier for many things. But in some ways, I like knit. If I want a really dense but also very drapey fabric, then I would go for knit. So I think they can be very complementary and even be in the same design.
They can. I've seen people do the most amazing things with a knit/crochet pattern, project. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I love the creativity and the thought process that goes behind, crocheting and knitting. So kudos to you for doing both. So you crochet and knit and you write patterns. What is your design process? Like, how do you get started?
Well, that's another of the reasons that I really like to work for magazines, because often when you put out a submission call, you get a design mood board, and I find it really inspiring to see something that somebody's got in mind for a particular occasion, a particular style, even just particular colors. I think it was particular colors for this one. And that really makes me, when I see that, I get pictures in my mind of what I'd like to do, something that would fit in with my own particular style and how I could interpret that person's mood board that they've created into something that would hopefully work for makers that read the magazine. And obviously looking at the magazine's style or the yarn producer's style to see what kind of things their customers really like as well. I actually really like to design something that is for somebody. So being able to design something for a Crochet Foundry reader is perhaps a little bit different to designing for a different magazine. So I like to try and put myself in the mind of the reader.
I like that. That's not something that you typically hear a designer talk about, is putting myself in the position of the consumer. Who is going to read this magazine and what kind of content do they really ascribe to? Do they enjoy, and what would they make? So that's really cool. I like the idea of writing for magazines, because then you have an idea of what you're going to do. You don't have to just pick something out from the clear blue sky. Like, you have some guidance.
I think that's really good for a new designer, because often you don't have a clear vision of what your design style is going to be. What things you can do really well, what things your customers might really like. And so for me, that really helped me.
He can come on screen.
He can. Okay, well, I think he's just going to run up and down.
Oh, now he's running. We're a kid-friendly group. They can come.
That's really good.
We love the children. Because they inspire so much of what we do. I always ask people, what really got you into crocheting? And it always at some point leans towards kids, right? And so you just shared, your kid was going to school. What should I do? So I think it's really nifty. So tell us a little bit about this pattern. I'm actually going to see if I can show it while we're on screen. So let me see if my computer will work with me. Share screen, window. There it is. All right. So tell us about the twisted Tunisian tap.
Okay, well, my design for this came from before you Crochet Foundry set out the call for designs for spring and summer this year. It started when I designed for Crochet Foundry previously. One of the lovely things about being a designer for Crochet Foundry is they send you to the Furls website and you get to pick the colors of the yarn sometimes, unless they've already got them picked out. And you also get to pick a lovely Furls hook. And I really love the two that I've had so far. And I was really inspired by some of the wooden, dark and light wood twisty hooks.
The Tunisian.
And in the Tunisian range at the time, the Cruella hook, that's right. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, wow, I want that hook, but there's no way I can say that I want that hook to make the Woodland Sunrise crochet hoodie, because it's not Tunisian. I have to design a crochet pattern for Crochet Foundry. What would make them choose that pattern? And I thought, well, I could do something that's maybe a bit inspired by this hook with its lovely dark and light twisty pattern. Mm-hmm. And so that's how I came up with the design. It's based on the hooks.
I love that. So tell us a little bit about the construction of this top.
Yes. So one of the things I really like as a designer is to have some shaping in garments. It's actually why I started designing. Before I became a designer that made patterns, I worked on my own designs for my own clothing, because I've got quite an hourglassy figure. I'm small in the shoulder and well upholstered in the front, let's say, and then I've got quite a small waist, and so I like garments that are very shaped, and I couldn't see knitwear or crochet garments in the shops that were like that at all. And I couldn't even see knitting patterns and crochet patterns very much. And then I saw one knitting pattern that had this waist shaping in it, and the waist shaping was made a feature of, and that's why I learned to knit. And then I realized actually it still doesn't fit me very well, because I'm still not the standard size. And so I learned how to adapt and adjust and started designing in that way. And so you can probably see in there are little white gaps between the panels. They're not perfectly rectangular, and you can omit the waist shaping, maybe for somebody who doesn't have a bust or has a small bust or just likes a straighter shape, but I wanted it to be quite shaped as well. And so the it has those little notches in there. They're curved, really. I wasn't great at drawing schematics, so they're block shaped in my. They're nicely curved, and so it does actually have a nice bit of waist shaping in there. And then the straps also make it very adjustable. I think you were just showing the strap on the screen there, because you can actually make them to any length. You make the top up fully, you put it on, and then you measure the length that you want for your straps. You make the straps, fit them in, pin them, check that the top weight doesn't pull them down too much, or if it does, you can unravel a bit, and then your top's just going to fit you really nicely. You can include more or less waist shaping. You could have none at all. You can adjust the length of those straps. You can add the tassels. The tester who made the project did a fantastic job, and actually, I'm trying to remember what she did for the tassels. I think she might have had them on hooks. She just so she could take them off, and I think that would be lovely, because it means you could even wear this top under a jacket to go to the office. You know, you probably wouldn't want tassels for the office day, maybe a traditional formal office, but if you've got the removable ones, it does make the garment a lot more flexible, I think.
Wow.
So it was designed to be something that would be quite flexible to suit different figure shapes, as well as encompassing the full range of sizes, which is obviously a great selling point of Crochet Foundry. It is inclusive in its sizing.
Yes. And the other thing that we love is, you know, the customization tips. Like, there are different tips that the designers provide to help you really customize the piece to your liking. So this is super, super cool. I like the creation of it. Like, I like the flowiness of the pattern. Very, very, very pretty. Do you love Tunisian crochet?
I do like it. It's grown on me. When I first started crocheting, I looked at it and I thought, oh, this looks a bit stripy. I'm not really sure about it. I prefer the more lacy stitches. This was something I made very early on when I started crocheting, so that was more what I liked. And the Tunisian crochet seemed very dense to me. But it's really grown on me as I've done more and more of it. So initially I was just using it for maybe like the strap of a bag or a waistband, somewhere where you didn't want any stretch in the item. And I was using that, combining it with knitting and with traditional crochet. And this is actually the first time I've designed a garment that's fully Tunisian crochet, apart from the very edging. So it's something I've wanted to do for a while. And yeah, this was my first design to make something that's entirely Tunisian crochet, and now I'm really into it. I've got 2 Tunisian crochet projects to go. I asked my brother to get me a full set of Tunisian crochet hooks for Christmas, and yes, it's a big thing for me now.
Very, very cool. Well, kudos to Crochet Foundry for getting you into something. You know, I always, you know, talk about Tunisian crochet with folks, and those who knit and crochet, like, this is a nice balance. Like, it's an in between. You get to do both things at once.
Especially if you're a continental knitter. I feel like if a person is a continental style knitter rather than an English style knitter that wraps it around,
Well,
this will just feel like.
let me see if I can stop. Okay, so we can
yeah.
you now.
Yeah, I was thinking if a person is a continental knitter that holds the yarn in their left hand rather than an English style knitter that wraps the yarn around the needle, this will just feel like it's something you've done forever. Actually, it'll be just like picking up the stitches with your needle, except you've got a hook on the end that makes it even easier. So I would definitely encourage knitters to make their first foray into crochet using Tunisian crochet. It really feels very, very natural for a knitter to do that.
Cool. I'm definitely not a knitter, but I think Tunisian crochet is definitely something, you know, if I want to kind of get that denser kind of material, that's the way to do it, is through Tunisian crochet. Very, very cool. Now, as a person from the UK, which terminology do you prefer? Do you use US or do you use UK, or like, how do you work the middle?
Well, I learned to crochet from charts. Crochet charts.
I do not know how to read charts
Oh,
at
do you
all.
not? Oh, okay. So that's where I started off, because I liked a lot of the lacy designs. A lot of the patterns I used were in magazines where they would chart out the lace and then just give some instructions to go with that. And I also really liked Japanese patterns, and they were all charted, so you could easily read them. You didn't need any language. So after that, I suppose being in the UK, I must have bought some books and I learned the UK terminology, but that wasn't for very long. After that, it wasn't very long after that that I started finding more and more patterns on Ravelry, for example, that were in US terminology. And at first I thought, oh, this would be easy to get confused. But I gradually got used to it. And now I just have to kind of start off in the right mind that I'm going with single crochets rather than doubles for the smallest stitch. And from there it works. So I don't mind. I always, if I release a pattern independently, I always release it in both.
Oh, that's cool. Well, thank you for that, because when I get a pattern it's in UK terms, I'm starting it out because I'm just reading the pattern, right? I'm just going through and I'm like, wait a minute now, this don't look right. This is too tall. I'm feeling like maybe they meant a single crochet. So thank you for that. Do you guys in the audience have any questions for Joanne? Joanne, we definitely need your socials so that everybody can follow you. So tell me what it is and I'm going to type it into the comment section. So
Okay, so pretty much everywhere I'm made with love and fibres, and that is the UK spelling of fibres, so Fibres.
Fibres, made with love and fibers.
Yes, that's right. So I've got a website, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, any way you like to keep in touch, really, and a Twitch account as well. So
Oh, what do you do on Twitch? I haven't forayed into Twitch yet. What are you doing there?
a bit like this, really, live. So I crochet live. People can come and chat to me. They can ask about what I'm doing. If they've got a query about one of my patterns, it can be like a drop in for that as well. At the moment, I've only got the one camera, so you just tend to see my hands working, and then we chatter in text chat. So very, very much like this.
Oh,
But hopefully at some point I'd like to have it with a split screen like this so they can see my hands working and see me as I'm talking as well. I think that
got
would be
it.
fun to
I've
do.
never, I've never ever watched a Twitch. I don't have a Twitch account, so maybe I'll go on and maybe just watch you and see what you're doing on Twitch.
They have a great makers and crafting section. I'd really say that anybody should try doing that if they love watching people crafting. It's a bit like you can love cooking and also love watching a cooking show. And so, yeah, it's very much like that. And it's just really good fun. I love going and watching other people crocheting there or cooking or whatever else they're doing. I'm not really that much into video gaming, which of course a lot of the site is.
Right.
So I haven't really looked at that all that much. But I do notice there's a lot of fun crafts going on in there. There are people doing, regular everyday crochet, amigurumi, lots of garments, all sorts of things. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Just go up to the bathroom, darling. I'm so sorry.
You're fine. I tell you, we are family people here, so we
Yes.
totally understand the little people. So Chris Lopez is asking, what is Twitch? Can you tell her a little bit about what it is?
It's a bit like YouTube, except it's focused on the lives rather than the recorded videos. Again, it has both. But if you went to Twitch, you'd probably be looking for a live and then you may have a recording. Whereas YouTube, you've got loads of recorded videos, which you can go to and look up. So you can just really go and see what creative people or video gamers or anybody who does any type of thing really shows you what they're doing while they're doing it. I think there are things where people can just chat or keep in touch with each other. It's video based. You would see my hands on the screen crocheting, for example, and then you could type in the text chat just like she's done here, and I would answer the questions or show something. So if somebody said they're a little bit unsure how to work the twisted Tunisian stitch, they twisting it the right way, I could do a demo of how to twist the stitch when you're doing it, that kind of thing. So it's great as an opportunity for people to drop in and ask me things.
That's cool. When do you typically go live?
I go live every Thursday at 10:30 UK time. So that's not going to be great in the US, I think, because you'll probably all be asleep.
Yes.
But I'm looking at doing also a 10:30 at night UK time one. So that's probably going to be as people are maybe starting to finish work around the US.
Yeah.
And hopefully that would work with some more people as well.
Very cool. Well, we'll definitely go and check it out. Now, I did see someone ask if there's a new hook. Yes, if those of you who were online yesterday with Pam and Harrison, there is a new beautiful birthday hook. It is teal, and everything on the Furls website today, I believe it ends at 11:59 p.m. Central, is 30% off. So if you didn't go yesterday, I encourage you to go today and see what is available still, because I know folks went on there yesterday and just went to town. So go and check out the Furls Crochet website to see what is available. 30% off. Happy birthday, Furls. 10 years. Isn't that amazing? How did you get introduced to Furls, Joanne?
I think it was through Crochet Foundry. Because I'm in the UK, it's not quite as well known. It's not as easy to get your products over here. I think you've got some outlets here, but it's not as well known as it obviously is in the US. And so it really was looking for magazines and on Instagram, following different magazines and seeing what they were doing, and then seeing that they were using these. They always had these beautiful hooks, and in their photographs, and they were always beautifully staged as well.
Yeah.
And so that's how I discovered them.
That's cool. Yeah, Pam is amazing. She takes all the photos for the website, and even in the Crochet Foundry magazine, she's had a huge hand in the photography. And she's just, her eye is like insane. The way she captures the images of the photo of the hooks, it's just like, I gotta have it. I want it all because they look so beautiful. So yeah, she's truly skilled there. Okay, so let's see. We have some questions. What is your favorite project to crochet?
Oh my goodness, how can I answer that one? It would be anything to wear. You're probably not ever going to catch me making a blanket. I think they're beautiful. Crochet blankets are just absolutely stunning, and things for the house are absolutely lovely, but I don't like big flat projects. So it would be something that's very 3D with a lot of shaping. That's the kind of thing that interests me. So garments, accessories, maybe bags would be my favorite. I love making bags.
So I just recently made a bag. I'm going to show y'all. I'm getting up. I'm going to show y'all my bag because I'm just so proud of myself.
Wow, that's lovely. Isn't that beautiful yarn as well?
This
I love the
yarn,
shaping.
a good friend of mine gifted me this yarn, and I was like, what am I going to make with it? So of course I made earrings with it first. I made like the tassel earrings, and I was like, I have more. What else can I make? And so I made this bag.
It's lovely. The shaping on the end is really nice. It's like a little house shape, isn't it?
Isn't it so
Beautiful.
fun? I found this pattern online years ago and was like, I really want to make this, but I don't know, what to do, what to use. I didn't just want to use regular cotton yarn. Of course, I didn't want to use acrylic. And when I got this yarn, I was like, okay, that's it. That's the yarn. I am going to make this duffel. So I like making bags too. I just started. Oh, look, I have another one. I just started, like, I'll go on websites and just find different bags, and then
That's stunning.
Isn't this beautiful?
That's really lovely. That's like one of those kind of cameo silhouettes that people used to have in jewelry, isn't it? It's absolutely lovely.
It's like an afro, hair puff and face. And when I saw this design, I was like, oh my gosh, this is just beautiful. The designer is just so cool. Oh God, I can't remember her name right now, but I'll put it in the comments later. So
definitely.
Make it, you can. I just love being creative. You have this huge yarn stash and you're like, what am I going to make? I have all this yarn, and I'm like, I have yarn. I will make it something. I'll figure it out.
It's lovely.
Do you have books of patterns? Like, do you collect patterns too? Because
I'm going to confess I don't collect much in the way of patterns. Since I started, I mostly like making my own designs up as I go along, and just kind of sometimes fudging things a little bit just to get them exactly how I wanted. That was something I had to really learn not to do when I'm making a pattern for it, because if you do a little bit of fudging here, you can't really explain how to do that to someone else.
That's true. So I was going to ask you, like, what is your design process? I asked this last week to Kelly. What is your design process? Do you already have in mind what you're going to make and then you go and make it? Or do you make something and then you write it? Like, what's your process?
And this is another reason why I like to design for magazines, because you have to be quite strict with yourself, and really make sure that everything is done in the order where you know it's going to work out properly in the end. When I first started designing, I would just make something and then try and write the pattern, and I could never work out how I'd done it again. So the first thing is I'll have a vague idea in my head, and usually I'll work a swatch then to get the idea of the type of fabric and stitch that's going to work, maybe the type of yarn. Not every yarn works for every project, so I'll do that first of all. At that point I would sketch the design out, see how it looks on a person, how it's actually going to look when it's laid flat, and also make pieces that look a bit like that blocking schematic diagram to show how all the individual pieces look, even if it's going to be made all in one piece, like things made in the round, think of a pullover made in the round or something like that. I would still draw separately the front and the back so that I could show pieces laid flat. If there was waist shaping, for example, you can't really draw that on a three-dimensional piece. So I need to know what shapes I'm going to make in there. Then I'll plot out the measurements, usually for the sample size the magazine has asked me to make for the model. That I want all of those pieces to be compared to the initial measurements, and then I'll grade that for what they would be for all the different sizes that I'm going to be drafting out, and a couple of notes on how to adapt them if people are outside of those sizes. If somebody wanted to size this down for a child, you could probably do that with my adaptation instructions. If somebody was had a fuller bust than the 5XL size, they could size up for that quite easily. And if somebody's got small hips and a big bust, or vice versa, there are instructions to do that. So I like my patterns to be flexible for different figure shapes as well as the sizes. So I would plot all of that out before I even put pen to paper. The magazine usually sends the yarn by the time I've done this, and I'll do a swatch in the yarn so I know exactly how many stitches to the inch in either direction. Excuse me, please.
No problem.
And then I start writing the pattern.
Wow.
Once the pattern's all written, only then do I get to make the sample, because if I start making the sample, the pattern will never happen.
Wow, got it. So we do have some more questions coming in. Do you use pattern testers?
I do use pattern testers. I use them for magazines if the magazine asks me to. A lot of magazines, everything has to be secret until the day, and they don't like us to use pattern testers. Obviously with Crochet Foundry, we keep it secret, but we can share with a pattern tester. So you require that to make sure the patterns are tested before the tech editor looks at it. And so I used a pattern tester, really amazing pattern tester, to make the twisted Tunisian top. And she made a lovely version in neutral colors. Definitely have a look at that if you're on Instagram. If you look at my account, you'll see I've linked to hers as well in my post about it. And she is a really good crocheter. And this was only her second attempt at Tunisian crochet, so it really is quite a good beginner project.
Wow, very cool. So I love comments like this. So grateful for people as creators as you guys who make lovely patterns. So am I. Like, thank you so much for doing the work so that I can just have fun creating the pattern. Do you make graphs?
Now, I tend to think of graphs as the colorwork designs that are on the grid, but maybe I don't make those, but I do make, I love that person's name, Wiggle Butt Crochet. So I don't make those kind of colorwork graphs, but I do hand draw and sometimes digitally produce, if I can work out how to do it, the crochet charts using the symbols. For the patterns, and sometimes I just hand draw it if it's easier. Sometimes they're a little bit difficult to do. I quite like intricate designs where some of the stitches go over the top and some go underneath, and then of course that's not so easy to draw in a chart, but where possible I like a chart to be available.
Very cool. I always say this, I love hearing the process for designers. I think the way your minds work is completely different. Like last week, Kelly was talking about numbers and counting and all this stuff. And you're like, I draw it out and I make it. And I'm like, y'all are something else. Thank you. We appreciate you doing all the heavy lifting and hard work to get us beautiful designs like the twisted Tunisian top. So thank you so much, Joanne. Really have enjoyed this conversation. You guys, please go and check out all her socials and Twitch. I'm going to go and sign up for Twitch today. just because you talked about it, Joanne. I've heard other people talking about it, but I'm just like, what's the big deal? I just think of it as something for the kids,
Yeah.
with the gaming and stuff. But since you said that there are crocheters and knitters and all kinds of crafters on there, I'm gonna go and give it a look and see what I can
And
do.
I'm going to make sure I've got some evening slots as well, because I know you've got a bigger audience in the US as well. So if people are interested, I would love to do something in the evening and share with people around the US, Canada,
Yes.
South America, for example, as well. I'll put a poll in my Instagram for when people would like that.
Yes, do it, do it, do it. We are definitely going to be following you. And I'm going to say the name of your business again. I already put it in the comments, but I want you to say it out loud so everybody hears it again.
It's made with love and fibers.
Fibers spelled Fibres, you guys.
Yes,
So
that's right.
Made with Love and Fibers is Joanne's business. She is on Instagram. She is on Twitch. She is on Pinterest. Where else?
YouTube and Facebook. Yes.
YouTube and Facebook. So make sure you go and follow her. You can see all the amazing things that she is doing in the world of crafting. You got knitting, you got crochet, and you got Tunisian crochet. So she's definitely worth a follow. Thank you again so much, Joanne, for
Thank
hanging out with
you.
me. Tell your son we said hello.
Say
And
goodbye, Constantine, or hello.
hello and goodbye. What's his name?
Constantine. You're going to
Oh,
say
wow.
hello and goodbye.
Hello.
Hey, goodbye.
Got on there.
Bye. Have a great remainder of your evening. I'm going to drop you out so I can say bye-bye to my friends and
Okay, thank you.
promote
Bye-bye.
the sale again. All right, bye-bye. Thank you. Well, wasn't that fun? Thanks so much to Joanne for hanging out with us and talking about her beautiful pattern. And you know what I didn't do, y'all? I forgot to do a giveaway. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick giveaway. I just want you guys. Okay, Joanne, I'm putting you back on. I forgot to do a giveaway. So I have to put you back on so that you can tell me when to stop. So I'm just going to scroll the comments. I'm not going to ask you guys to put anything extra in. I'm just going to scroll up. Oh, scroll up. And you tell me when to stop, Joanne.
Okay. Now.
Ooh, did I kick my? Okay, Darcy. Darcy, you are the winner of a Crochet Foundry Magazine, the June issue. Hope you don't have it, because if you have it, then that would be a problem. But please email support@crochetfoundry.com. In the subject, put in today's date and winner, and we are going to send you your own issue of the June copy. I'm saying all kinds of words. The June issue of the Crochet Foundry magazine. So just type in support, email support@crochetfoundry.com to get your issue of the magazine. Congratulations, Darcy. And I love your comment. I made one Tunisian wall hanging, and I'm not sure what I think of it yet. I do want to try your top though. So yay. Now you're going to get this pattern, this magazine, so that you can make this top. Congratulations, Darcy. Make sure you email us. Thank you again, Joanne. All right, I'm going to drop you again. Bye-bye. Thanks, everybody. I was a little kooky today on this here Good Friday. I hope that you all have an amazing weekend and that you get something fun on or off your hook, that you are exercising, making sure you're rolling those fingers. I haven't told y'all to do that in a while. Roll your shoulders. Don't sit there and crochet day and night and not exercise, and make sure that you are treating your body well. Happy 11th, not 10th. Happy 11th birthday to Furls. Make sure you go and get the beautiful birthday hook. 30% off sale happening today. It ends today at 11:59 Central. So go ahead and fill up your cart. Get what is in stock. 30% off site-wide. I will talk to you all soon. Have an amazing weekend, everybody. Hope to see you next week. Bye.